All right, everyone. Welcome back. I hope everyone had lovely holidays and stayed the fuck home. As I know, hopefully later you traveled, very lately. Um, Welcome once again to Ryan. We will begin our session today, as is our tradition, with everyone introducing themselves. But this week's question is going to be, folks, what is your character's New Year resolution? As your DM, Scoot. Mine is to cause you all a bit more panic in the new year and hopefully drop your HP down into some negatives.
Fantastic.
Oh.
So the same resolution as last year.
More or less.
He's nothing if not consistent.
What are we going to do this
appreciate
year,
it.
Brain? The same thing we do every year, Pinky.
Kill the plans.
Try to TPK.
Try to TPK and then the party rolls all crits.
Which is usually what
You
happens.
just can't kill the fuckers.
That's our goal.
Yes. At any rate, hello, I'm Robert. I play Nick, the human wizard, and his New Year resolution is to learn a necromancy spell. It's the only school of magic that he has never studied.
Hmm.
I can go next. I'm Deb. I'm playing Tessa, the oblivious tiefling paladin, and she's actually has a list because she is the type to write down her goals to make sure that she accomplishes them. So the first goal is she wants to learn 3 new spells. Second goal is she wants to make 2 new friends, and her last goal is to actually complete the quest that she was sent on originally.
I'm Kate. I play Neva, our half-dryad druid. Neva doesn't really do New Year's resolutions, mostly because she doesn't like the idea of you assign the beginning of the year to all these new tasks. She would rather, as she finds a thing that she wants to be able to do, give herself a resolution to do it then and there. So she doesn't have any particular ones at this time. But she is happy to support her friends in the development of their resolutions. Just because it works for her doesn't mean that it doesn't work for other people.
Yeah, I'd say, so I'm Randall and I play Kiki, the Kinku Tinkerer. And I'd say that Kiki has goals, but they don't necessarily align with the calendar. That said, since she got the boots of flight, she does feel much closer to one of her big life goals, which is to fly, as Kinku's lost the ability generations ago to do that. So I think, but with this crew and how much she's learning quickly, I think she thinks that is close. She's closer to a goal, and that this year she could build her own set of wings, whether they be functional wings or just look nice, and she flies with her boots anyway. And she's not 100% clear on that. So I think she's wing and a prayer is going to be her goal.
I'm Will. I play Roscoe, the Asimar sorcerer warlock. Roscoe's goal into the new year is to listen better, which is like a decent goal for normal people outside of fantasy adventures. But Roscoe has really been contemplating a bard multi-class for a minute here.
Bard, the magic rogue.
Yeah,
For first-time listeners, Will is well known for multiclassing literally every character he has into Rogue.
Sneak
I
attack.
can't. There is a magnet next to my compass, and the magnet is rogue, and it's just magnetic lockpicks. And I want to get in there and steal some shit.
I sympathize.
But I think Roscoe has gotten very comfortable with this group, and I have loved sharing some stories with them recently and getting to know everybody a little bit deeper. But that storyteller itch can sometimes get in the way of listening. So I'm going to try to be a better listener.
And multi-classing as a bard is the ointment that you need for that itch. Is that what you're saying?
Okay. You know what, Kiki? How about you? But also, now that I know that Kiki has a
apprentice under
box that lets
Satara.
me...
You met a very wonderful bard not very long ago.
Now that I know that there exists in this world a box that lets me talk even when I'm not present or when I'm not talking, it helps make it a little easier to listen the rest of the time.
Okay, I believe that was everyone went. So we will now rejoin the Gaffers in a snuggly home setting. They have spent a few days in a professor's home at the college at the Crossroads under the protection of Lord and Lady Stormbringer, the rulers of this particular area.
So you said a few days. Yes.
Like 1 or 2. Like you've had 1 or 2 days of quiet. If you want to do anything in that time.
No, it's been the following morning since Christmas Eve night, or since Christmas when we all went, or solstice when we all went to bed. Correct.
Yeah, so it is actually solstice. We can start on solstice morning if you would like.
I would like to have a conversation with Thrax.
Oh, okay, you sure can.
I saw something that nobody else saw.
You did. So it is the next morning. I was hoping you forgot about that shit.
No, fuck you.
It's the next morning, so Neva wakes up, and as she is wont, the thing she was very excited about last week, as the group had a very lovely time exchanging gifts. Roscoe completely had fucking forgot about their new friend Thrask and his companion Bosco. But luckily Tessa saved the day, but still remains clueless about perhaps some of Thrax's feelings for her, another his fellow winged tiefling. But in the night, Neva saw something. She saw Thrask's wings change from the sort of bluish feathers that he goes on, has day to day, to almost being made completely of stars and galaxies and sort of the night sky. He talked to an entity in the sky as well, who we refer to as Mother, and then returned to the house. And then, as everyone during the night felt themselves become slightly empowered in some different way, be it strength, wisdom, or some other stat. So it can be the next morning, Neva, when you wake up and you are just you are covered in snow like most cars are after a good snowstorm.
Except it is a lot easier to get snow off of Neva than it is to get snow off of most of your cars. Partly because nobody covers Neva with salt first, so it doesn't melt down into a solid layer that you then have to, chip off with your shovel before you actually shovel off all of the snow. So it's a very extended analogy here. Neva's not covered with salt, and very quickly, soon after, she's not covered with snow.
Not on the outside, anyway. Not on the outside.
Yet.
Give me time. So,
anyway,
you wake up.
Snow comes off.
Yep, you head into the house that you folks are staying in, and you hear a sort of back and forth old 50s comedy snoring, and you think you know it's coming from the master bedroom. There are 2 sets of it. One is louder than the other.
Is Bosco's louder than Tessa's?
I snore? I can't snore.
Do you
I
snore?
feel like
I think you do.
I feel like she's not aware that she snores.
I feel like she's entirely convinced that she doesn't snore, in fact.
I would never.
I'm so delicate.
And dainty.
And dainty.
But no one ever.
Yeah, you're not sure which one is which. It's not overly loud, but to your natural perception, you immediately hear it. Like, it probably doesn't bother anyone else when they're around, but you pick up on the 2 sort of... It's almost a call and response between the 2 sets of snoring. It's very light.
That's fine. Bosco can keep snoring, as can Tessa. I just would like to talk to Thrax about the whole wing situation.
Yep, so you know that you're not sure where Thrax is, so you go looking and you see that despite the number of bedrooms that are in this place, it seems that Tessa and the dog are in the master bedroom. The rest of your group has crammed into 2 bunk beds and are seemingly very happy there.
Bunk beds!
We should note that Roscoe is in a hammock between the 2 top bunk beds, so that he can also have a top bunk.
Mm-hmm. Everyone's in a top bunk.
Yes.
But eventually you do find Thrax is...
All tops and no bottoms in this game.
I think Randall just almost spit taked.
Some of us could be
Almost.
switch
Yeah,
hitters.
you
Leave
never
it
know.
alone.
We went over that one week.
Versus here, it's fine.
Yeah. You do find
Wow.
that Thrax is awake, and he is just leaned up against a window as you think snow is definitely something very, very new to him. He's not... Well, he doesn't seem to get cold because he wasn't cold in the sleigh. He's not used to this level of winter wonderland. But it is bright. His wings are his normal bluish feathers, and he stands there with a hot cup of probably coffee.
Snow is new for you, isn't it?
Yeah, it's really white and bright. And I hope to God I don't lose Bosco out there.
Don't worry. When you have a small furry creature running around in the snow, they tend to make like little tunnels, and it'll be sticking up out of the snow, and you'll just like see like little worm trails going across. It's great.
Right, I'm worried about him getting lost. He's not smart.
You'll at least be able to see where he is. Don't worry.
Mm-hmm. I made coffee if you want some. There was the thing in the kitchen.
I'll make some tea in a bit. I meant to ask you a question actually before everybody else was up. Although if you're not used to snow, but you clearly are used to cold. Where are you from?
I'm from Araya, which is for the sake of reference, it's on the desert continent of Shantha. But from what you know, it was a part of that continent that was literally raised out of the ground by the at the time rulers, Lady Oriana and Lord Oren. They were siblings, and like attached itself to the continent through some sort of very deep, heavy magic. It is a city that is run by these two, the line of these two tieflings, their descendants, and it's a haven for tieflings and other sort of creatures, and they are allies to Thunderblade, very staunch on that continent. And probably the arguably safest, the other major places being where Nick came from, Ventos, which is a city of trade lords, which if you're on the wrong dock, you're going to get stabbed. The Psionic Citadel of Lord Zoro's Darksbane, smack dab in the middle of the continent. The territory of the Arch Lich Zhao. And the Primal Valley, which has Terras just running around that even you probably wouldn't tread casually, being a half-drive. You would want guides there, even Neva would, because there's a lot of dangerous shit there.
Right, but so what you were saying that Araya is as dangerous as these places?
It is the safest of them and the most stable. Like,
Got
if
it.
you're going to live one where you probably want to live in Araya.
What made you leave?
I don't know, I was just sick of it, and I had some issues with my siblings, he says. Brothers.
Insight check.
Okay. Insight.
19.
Yeah, he seems truthful.
Kate has a suspicion, but I'm trying to figure out if Neva would put this together. Neva probably would. Neva's more clever than I am, to be honest. Even if she doesn't know Scoot. You're clearly a magic user of some sort from the magic missile situation. What is Bosco exactly?
I'm not gonna. I don't know. I got him from a merchant that sold him to me very cheaply. He traded me like 3 biscuits and a loot. So, yeah, I didn't find out about the size thing for a while until one day he wanted to get food on the table, but he couldn't get up to the table. It was really tall. Then he grew, and I was shocked. But he grew.
Nothing inspires animals to do literally anything quite like food that's just out of reach.
Yeah, he was.
Alternately, nothing runs faster than an animal when you ask it, what's in your mouth?
Oh, don't I know? And I'm very happy I have wings and he beats them. Because that's probably how he catches Bosco.
Speaking of those wings, are they always that color?
Yes, he says.
Were they in fact that blue last night, Scoot?
Oh no, when he walked out into the
Yes, he lies.
Oh my god,
So-
Neva, you can't go asking someone about their wing color.
Oh my
That's actually why her wings are blue. Neva's not going to say anything. Neva has been a teacher. And so Neva has mastered, as most teachers and professors have, the art of, like, you know that stare that you give a student when you know that they are lying about, like, half doing their homework? Yes, that one that you're doing, Randall, right now, but with an added eyebrow raise. She's not going to say anything. She's just going to give him that look and see if he does anything in response to it.
Make a persuasion check.
Oh god, not my specialty.
Okay.
Not intimidation. Are you gonna make him sweat?
11.
Give him the teacher stare.
Yeah, it doesn't seem to phase him. Thrax, although he's fairly young, even for like a tiefling, he seems pretty he's not as learned as like you or Nick, but he seems to be very world-wise. So he just sort of looks at you back, and he goes, "Yeah, this is my wing. This is the feather. This is the color of the feathers," he says.
At that, Neva smiles, because she does appreciate when a student has a clever, technically correct, absolutely a loophole answer. That's true, although I did ask you about the wings and not the feathers directly.
I mean, you can touch them if you would like. I promise they're real. And he brings them fully up and out, spreads them.
Oh, no, I'm well aware that your wings are real. I would have been quite aware if they weren't. That's kind of one of the things that I do. I'm known for my ability to notice things. It's a big part of how I help this group.
I need things, I see things, and I drink tea.
That's what I do. I drink tea and I see things.
And I'm all out of tea.
And I haven't made any fucking tea yet.
Neva, is there something you'd like to ask me? I feel like you're being roundabout about something.
Yes, I was just trying to see if you would come out and directly indicate why your wings appeared to be made of starlight and galaxies last night, or if I was going to have to ask you that.
So his face drops as you see him try to bring up a lie as sort of a panicked cover. And then he just looks at you.
You're not in trouble. I'm not a teacher anymore.
He walks over and makes sure the door is shut.
Okay.
And he looks to you and goes, "Yeah. So
to be clear, I am asking for 2 reasons. 3. Reason number 1 is absolutely curiosity. I would like to understand. Reason number 2 is you appear, at least temporarily, to have joined our merry band of companions, and as such, I would like to understand you a bit better. And 3, you've got a very obvious, massive crush on Tessa, and if I'm going to encourage a response from her in that regard, I need to know that you're worth trusting.
So it looks like he was probably going to try to play more games until he said the third thing. Mm-hmm. He's like, it's like, fuck. And now you've backed him into a verbal corner. It's all right. So my brothers and I were born under a very odd alignment of stars. The soothsayers in Araya told us we were born under the sign of the 3 brothers. You know this from your history of the mortal plane. The 3 brothers are these legendary figures. So imagine there was a time in the world when, for the first time of only 2 times, when the mortal plane was fully united and Ryan was fully united under one sort of nation, under one power, was during the era of the 3 brothers. There was referred to as the warrior, the warrior, the magi, and the rogue. No one knows if they were just brothers or if that was just a term because things skew male sometimes, or that has been lost. No one knows if they were blood relation or if they were oath brothers. Like, that is just how everyone refers to these 3 entities. But it's very important, and there are like constellations, and like every society that tracks its history back that far also links themselves to one of the brothers. And this is functionally like if King Arthur, Saladin, and I'm trying to think of somebody else from like history, like another great historical figure from different parts of the world got together and were like, we're gonna fucking organize everything and sort of try to make things better. So everyone just comes together and does that. Everything went to shit, of course, as things usually do in the course of events of the world, but this is a weird, auspicious sign when the 3 constellations that represent the brothers come into a odd alignment with other things. And Thrax and his brothers seem to have been born in such a way where they are each under an alignment, a particular alignment of those stars and the planet.
So I'm leaning towards you were born more particularly under the Magi star.
The rogue, actually.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we have both my brothers and I have a connection to the goddess of the stars. I don't know if I am a tiefling. We all are, but that's where the wings come from. And in the night, in clear nights, when the stars hit me, the wings change, as you have seen. That's where I get some of my magical abilities from. Is from that.
I'm almost certain, Scoot, that if I rolled an insight check right now, Neva would see that he's telling the truth, and given my basically resting perception scores, I'm not going to bother rolling, I don't think.
No, there's nothing in his body language or voice that says he's trying to lie to you, and this is such an insane thing that...
If that's the lie he came up with, it's a good enough one that I might...
like, no one would say that, because why in the world would you believe that? Like, and he's saying it to you with a stone-straight face.
Well, is there any concern about... Yeah, you mentioned some issues with your brothers. Is there any concern that might follow you here?
No. The other ones, my brothers are on their own paths. The brother that was born under the constellation of the warrior wants to unite the world. He's just a putz, though, and he's more interested in, he says it, but he's more interested in gambling and getting laid. Although my brother, born under the sign of the Magi, is, he wants to reclaim the old magocracy that is supposed to rule Shantha. Again, from your history of the mortal plane, and Nick would probably know this too if Nick was made aware of this, Shantha was once, the entire continent was ruled by a magocracy, and Shantha was once a beautifully lush continent, full of life, full of very farmable land, and then
the mages fucked it up.
Yeah, and then they tried a big spell, cocked it up, and now you have a blasted desert scape that has livable parts by the ocean, but that's it. And also, supposedly, they woke up the Thrykeem that lived under the ground, and that's why there's so many Thrykeem in Shantha. Like, no one knows if they were always there or they were attracted, but like the Thrykeem came after that cataclysm, or they showed up, or people started seeing them.
Does that particular brother seem more focused?
He seems like more of an asshole, Thrax tells you. No one believes him. Like, he's told people, we've been in taverns talking about this, and no one believes us. And I'm fine with that. I don't want any sort of fucking prophecy, other bullshit nonsense.
You're in the wrong campaign, dude.
If I've learned anything from the various students that I've taught, that whether or not you want any involvement in a prophecy has absolutely fuck all to do with whether or not a prophecy wants to do with you. Well, alright, with some small exception. That being said, I appreciate you sharing this with me. I do, in fact, believe you, and I don't think anyone in this group would either look at you all that oddly, or be all that put off if you were to share that with anyone else. Not that you have to, and I will not share it unless you want to. Although I will warn you, if you do share that about the wings, Kiki is absolutely going to investigate the shit out of them.
She'd have to catch me flying at night. That's the only time they turn.
You say that like Kiki wouldn't stay up just to see that happen for like 6 nights straight.
I'm not gonna lie to you. She scares me.
Wow, he's got a good wisdom score.
Yeah.
Yeah, good. That's a good read.
Yeah, he's a ranger.
Anybody who's
That's
not
what he
scared
cares.
of Kiki doesn't get it.
Like, I know, and he was like, I know she's just a small little kinku.
You are justified in your fear.
Yeah.
You're not wrong. Well, I'm going to make some tea, and if you'd like a little bit of help making sure you don't lose Bosco in the snow, let me know. I can help with that.
I'd appreciate that, but I'm sure if he gets super lost, he's just going to get huge.
Again, in this particular town, no one will be bothered.
That's good to know. I was a little scared about that. And I plead, and he looks at you very sort of pleadingly, and he goes, "Please don't tell the others."
I already said that I won't. This is your truth to tell if you want to or not. I would have made a terrible confidant for my students if I'd told any of their stories. I will not certainly tell yours.
Tess has also seen the wings. So I wonder if she's smart enough not to say anything.
Well, we'll find out, because it hasn't come up yet. Because you haven't said anything so far. She's like, "Oh, that's just how he is."
But
Yeah, what the
Eva does.
everything.
Has Tessa seen the regular wings or the star wings?
Both. But it happened in an
Oh,
RP.
shit. Okay.
Neva gives him her word that she will not tell, and sets about making some tea.
Okay, because I'm not gonna lie. And he leans very close into you. I'm scared Kiki's gonna like take them, and he seems sort of like he doesn't know, but he's like I just don't know. Like,
So Neva has like a small laugh at first, then her face gets very serious, and she's like, "Look, how familiar are you with the Kenku as a species?"
not very.
So, Kenku, several generations back, their wings were taken from them. Kiki desperately would like to fly, but I think she would consider that like so deep and aberrant a taboo that is not a thing that she would ever dream of doing, let alone actually do.
And
That thought would be horrific to her.
There's a big sigh of relief. Let me see. He goes, "Okay," because when my brother, the mage one, when I'm the only one that this happens with, the other two don't have wings. When we were young, though, he sold some of my plumage.
Yeah, no, I'm fairly certain, in fact, that Kiki would start throwing bombs at anyone who tried to do that. So, like, look, your terror of her can work in your favor here. Anybody tries to steal any part of your wings, tell Kiki.
Yes!
Tell the rest of us, we'll happily help. But really, if you want something done about it, tell Kiki.
Okay, and you with your passive insight, you do see like there's a memory on his face that you don't think the whole story is, oh, they were just looking to take some feathers. There's more to that.
Yeah, no, but
yeah.
Neva's sense is
shit.
his brothers tried to like carve the wing out of him at some point. So she is trying to make him at least like distract him from that particular memory by getting him imagining like Kiki chucking bombs at somebody trying to steal his wings.
Yeah, so he comes back out of it, he's just like, God, she's terrifying. And he just heads towards the door and into the kitchen.
I'm gonna go make some tea.
So that conversation is had. The rest of you may wake up at your leisure as now Thrax, feeling far more comfortable with Neva than he probably has been on this journey. He and Neva are in the kitchen sort of bantering back and forth. He's telling her stories about Bosco. The rest of you can wake up as you see fit.
Tessa wakes up to the smell of bacon, obviously.
Obviously.
What was that?
And she and Roscoe go into the kitchen to get some coffee and breakfast, greeting everyone with a very hearty hello. On this
Are you
wonderful
holding Bosco?
I'm not there yet.
Yeah.
Bosco, sorry.
Yeah.
Are you like carrying him?
Damn it! We're gonna do this forever.
Yep. It's if I set that up that way.
Yeah, I
Heartless
feel like
control.
I'm carrying him.
Yeah, you see, that dog is never going to walk as long as Tessa's around.
Nope. He doesn't have to. I got this.
You do come to see that Thrax is making, he's sort of making breakfast for everybody. He's scrambling eggs, making toast, bagels, bacon, a couple of links, whatever sort is in the house. And he sees you, and there is a huge smile. That is, Neva would know is beaming at Tessa, but he shifts it to the dog. He goes, there's my guy. How did, was he okay last night? He asked Tessa.
Yeah, he was fine. He took up most of the bed, but that's okay. He deserves it.
Cool. he does that a lot. And he begins portioning out food onto the table for folks.
I
In
asked
the,
her if she enjoyed her sleep in the snow.
Sorry,
Okay.
what?
Oh.
Yeah, no, it was lovely. Very peaceful, very quiet out there.
Awesome.
In the top bunk chalet, Nick sits up and says,
Top bunk chalet.
He goes,
top bunk
man,
boys.
I had strong pillow fight plans, but that smells really good. So he half-heartedly
Yeah.
tosses his pillow at Roscoe and hops down and comes out to the kitchen.
No, that's fair. I come in with Nick. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
I feel like everyone's in, like, you three are in, like, feety pajamas.
Absolutely, yeah.
Oh, hell yes.
Are they matching?
Yes.
Well, wait, we disagree on this.
Do we want them to not be matching? Because that's okay.
I don't think they're matching. I think they're on theme for each
Okay.
person.
I
There's
accept that.
Like I'm picturing that Roscoe walks into the kitchen to get coffee and bacon in like deep purple with like cartoonish lightning bolt pattern.
Like the
footy
Flash, but
pajamas.
purple?
Okay. Can we do a small
Yeah,
retcon and say that we went to a fabric store and got fabric for the three of us?
Yeah, you three.
I've
did
had
that.
Because I would
this
absolutely
for
burn
my
spell slots
whole
and
life.
Okay, based on
There
yours,
absolutely is a store, by the way.
I'm absolutely going to burn a couple of fabricates the night before to make me and Kiki whatever matching pajamas we need.
Awesome. So Kiki's pajamas will look like a Union Jack suit, and the flap in the back is open to let her tail feathers out.
Yeah.
Her pattern would be all these different like equations basically on it, and you're not sure if they're part of the fabric or if she actually wrote some there. It's probably a combination.
Okay, so far we've got Lightning McQueen and Goodwill Hunting. Nick's pajamas
What
are.
does Nick's look like?
Let's go with sort of like a burgundy, and for the pattern, I'll do magic wands just all over it.
Okay.
Lean into it a little.
Yeah, so
Wait. This is Nick we're talking about here. Which kind of magic wand?
Oh. Are they dildo pajamas?
So it looks like
Damn.
normal, like slightly cartoonish magic wands, but if you lean in closer, it's quilted in a dildo pattern.
Nice. Oh, it's like that fabric you can buy that, like, at first glance, it doesn't look like a dick, but it's actually a dick.
Yeah.
It's all fabric.
Thrax will look at the three of you come down, and he will look at Neva and go, Did they go to bed like that? Seeing the... Neva shakes her head, and okay, Thrax just begins to parse out food.
I happily accept. Tuck a couple of biscuits in my pocket or something. And call it good.
Yep. Is there anything you folks would like to do? Because Neva, while you're out in the town, you receive word that the delegates from the spring court to deal with that matter of adjudication are coming, probably within the next few days. But you do they're not coming today because it is Solstice Day and like no one is going anywhere.
So Neva would think to ask, do all of you have some formal clothing of some sort?
Yeah, I think we got some stuff from the Von Lyken.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got the suit that I got for the Von Lycans, but
That's
about it.
Kiki,
I have.
Kiki looks down at her pajamas and looks at you like, "What's wrong with this?" Like, they're formal equations, okay?
These are
Would you think,
proofs.
would going in armor
These aren't
cause any offense?
theorems.
No. That would not cause any offense at the court.
Then it should be good.
Right. You won't be expected to follow the norms of the spring courts. In fact, none of us will, because this is intentionally being adjudicated in a neutral space. That being said, there are some things that you should know, generally speaking. When it comes to the Fae, there is very much a following of the letter of the law. It's the reason the law is so detailed and well lettered, so that you cannot slip out of it in spirit while still following the letter. Fae delight in finding such loopholes. As a course of habit, most of the kind who will be coming to this adjudication delight in that kind of wordplay, and will similarly find loopholes in conversations. In general, the less you say, the harder it is to find a loophole.
Roscoe is struggling.
So we shouldn't say anything.
Because there's
You
a
you
big
have-
part of Roscoe that's like, I can go toe to toe.
narrator.
I
Nah.
can make deals with these guys. I can
Almost as if Neva can hear you saying this.
But he
Above all
cannot.
else, the thing to be most cautious of, any deal or trade or exchange, I guarantee you the person you are speaking to has far more experience making them than you do, and the deal will be made in their favor. At times exclusively, or significantly to your detriment.
Roscoe literally raises his hand.
Yes, Roscoe.
What if
No.
okay.
I think that's a point of inspiration to Neva.
That was such
Roscoe
a
does not
No, ask the
does
question.
not
Roscoe.
finish. Nope.
Ask the question.
Nope. Nope. You had your chance. I'm not gonna ask it now.
Kiki
Take
looks
your
at
point of
Neva.
inspiration and wonder what I was about to ask.
Kiki just looks
This
at
is not
Neva
to
and
say-
Tried.
That you shouldn't have conversations with them. You are free to have conversations with any of them who would like to have conversations with you.
Roscoe raises his hand again.
Yes, Roscoe.
What if it seems like they're really interested in you as a person?
In what capacity? The romantic friendship, sleeping with capacity.
The first and the third that you mentioned.
They're very well experienced and you'd probably have a fun time.
Okay, so those deals are okay.
It's weird to call it a deal.
I'm
no.
super comfortable with that.
You're breaking up a little bit, Will.
Actually, I'm super comfortable with that context. Actually, calling it a deal.
Okay.
Generally speaking, just don't present much of anything as a trade. Certainly do not offer or accept favors. Those, no. Please do not either offer or accept favors. That's probably the single most dangerous thing.
I can hear the boo coming from Roscoe's body language as Neva says that. Although he probably doesn't say it.
No. Here's
if
the
someone-
problem. Here's the
If
problem.
someone
is
offers to
that
provide you with information or education, if you ask a question about culture or heritage, if you share information about your culture or heritage, this is fine. Fae like to learn. Fae like to know new things. Fae like to teach things. But anything that is specifically outlined or constructed as a trade, a favor, a deal, those things get a lot dicier.
here's my problem: is that Will, as the player, loves this shit. I will say yes to anything.
Yes, we know.
But Roscoe
That's a dangerous
Roscoe,
thing.
as the character, has a lot of reason to have a lot of faith and a lot of respect for Neva's point. Like, Neva has earned Roscoe's respect 100%. Like, what Neva says carries a lot of weight with Roscoe. But Will wants to do some dumb shit. All right.
So
And you will.
the day presses on as the Dungeon Master I'm moving.
We'll do
to
it live.
Sharing, Will. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you for sharing. You all have a lovely breakfast, but you know that probably you have at least one free day to do as you wish, but probably Neva having seen these processes happen before, especially with the context of the first oak, like, they're going to probably be here tomorrow, or at least the ones who are going to arrive first. But you have one free day to do as you wish. We could just skip past it.
Oh, God. Sorry, my cat pooped. It smells terrible. I need to flush it 1 second.
Scoot, I think I will buy some new clothes since I actually have money now.
Mm-hmm.
So we don't have to RP that. I want to look at Pinterest, so I'm gonna pick out some outfits.
Fine.
That's basically my sole purpose.
So again, you guys can just spend this day. You folks can spend this day going shopping, kind of dicking around the town, going and see things. Nick can go to the college and just sort of check out what classes are there, the place that it looks like. But unless anyone has anything they'd like to do or explore or talk to somebody about, we'll probably jump to the next day when the members of some of the members of the Spring Court begin to arrive.
Yep, no specifics, just Pinterest outfits.
Okay.
I'm doing the same thing, Deb.
Hi, Scoot.
Yes.
Scoot, there's some things I would like to buy.
Absolutely.
Oh, God.
What?
I would like to buy...
Here we go.
I would like to buy 200 feet of paracord
Okay.
that is rated at least 300 pounds working weight.
Okay. You can.
And I would like to buy a stock pot, a nice big, like, turkey-sized stock pot, like a 5-gallon pot.
Okay. These are all things
That's
you can
it.
find in the crossroads.
That's all I want.
Okay.
Yeah, just good rope
Yep.
and a big pot.
So, question: do you want, like?
Thank you.
I have one specific thing though. You can find a lot of different types of rope here in the crossroads. You can find the stuff you would use to
That's fair.
ride animals. You can find for cargo ships, right? Good rope like that. Also, good rope for tying up people in various positions. Like, what kind of rope are you looking for?
I picture, like, paracord, like the thinnest rope that still has some strength to it.
Mm-hmm.
But I want some assurance from the vendor that a length of that rope could hold at least 300 pounds without snapping.
Spider silk would do it.
Spider silk is, I don't know, 300.
Also
I don't know if he has. That's
obscenely
obscenely expensive. So they do tell you, like, the strongest cord they have is called spider silk, which is made by spider folk. But any length of that is 300 feet would be mind-bogglingly expensive because they make it out of their mouths. But you can find but you can find a rope like that. Where you will find the best for what you're looking for is at probably one of the sex shops. That's for the type of what you have just explained is where you will find the best of that.
Great.
Okay, you go and you get it for whatever the hell next thing you're putting together.
Great. And the 5-gallon, like, just regular kitchen pot.
That's easy to find. The smithy can make that for you. There are places that will sell those things.
Excellent. I'm going to just add that to my equipment now.
Yep.
Then I'm good.
You're good?
I'm good.
Nick, do you want to go buy any weird things while we're in town? Kiki?
Those aren't weird. Those are normal things people use.
I know, but, like, I'm sure you're putting it into some very mundane purpose.
Mm-hmm.
I think Nick is probably going to utilize his Misty Haven gift certificate. But I'm not sure what yet, so we can just deal with that out of band.
Okay. Kiki, anything?
No. She just wants her basic supplies, like her medals. to
Yep,
build
you can head
stuff,
into town.
and
You find a
take-
lot of different
yeah.
types of stuff here, but we can do shopping outside. Next day comes. You all come back to the house. Very good time there. Tessa, the one thing you do notice is someone has bought you flowers, and they are on your nightstand.
Oh, that's lovely.
There's also
Who could have possibly done
large.
this?
There's also a large box of chocolates, like real big.
Huh. Are they delicious? I want to eat one.
Yeah, roll for it.
What am I rolling?
Roll d20. Roll for deliciousness.
9. Ah! That's no good.
It's pretty good. You
Oh, they
definitely
have
got.
nuts in them.
Yeah, you
Or
definitely hit
fruits,
one
or
that's
whatever
like-
you dislike.
you definitely get one that's not like not your total favorite, but then you're like, oh, there is a guide at the top of the box. You just didn't see it, so now you can find the ones you really like.
Alright, can
Wait,
I roll an insight check?
Sure.
And then
At-
I'm
On
going
the
to get it
chocolates?
at one point. I want to see how many weeks goes by.
Insight check is a
19! Finally
yeah.
got it.
You are aware, mostly because this box is covered in corgi hair, and it looks like there's some bite marks as if something was trying to get into it that doesn't have fingers.
Oh, Bosco!
Aww.
Got
Oh,
the
that's
chocolate.
sweet.
I'd give him
Sweetheart.
chocolate.
He did the dog didn't get in, but he was very clearly trying. So with the 19, you are aware that this has at least come from Thrax and Bosco.
Okay, good. So it can't be stupid forever.
No, so you can do that information as you will.
Life goals, stupid forever.
I'm gonna go thank him and offer to share with him, but not Bosco, because that'll literally kill him.
Yeah, and he will accept, and he will that night, under the he'll ask you if you want to go up to the roof, and check out the stars because that's what he enjoys doing.
Sure, absolutely.
Yep. So you fly up there. He's holding Bosco because Bosco is always trying to get to those chocolates, no matter how much he's sort of sitting there. Now, or the rest of you both know that the winged tieflings are on the roof. Do you folks just let him out there? Because you're all like, I'm assuming inside. Is anyone being nosy?
I mean, Neva's sleeping outside
I'm-
as usual.
Yeah, I'm pro Tessa and Thrax, but I do think I would probably convince myself it was no big deal to go have a drink outside. We're down on the ground. We're not on top of them. It's like an extended chaperone situation.
Is anyone going with Roscoe, or is Roscoe out there alone?
I'm
Neva
just
will
gonna
be
have a
with him
drink outside.
so she can have a conversation and distract him so he doesn't keep bothering the two up there.
Yeah. So Roscoe, as you look up, you now see Thrax's wings have changed, and you get your
Oh,
first look at
God,
the sort
here
of
we go.
starlight that makes up his wings at night when it's a clear sky. Kiki, Nick, anything, or are you just gonna kind of do your own thing?
Yeah, I will not interfere.
I think Kiki is going to be absorbed with her solstice gifts. She's going to be examining,
Fighting them.
pressing buttons and looking at the storm batteries.
And also, for the record, Kiki should just let me know every time you roll a d12 and a d4 for what is coming up on that board.
I will. Absolutely.
Okay.
Random sounds coming from the cabin.
The evening starts to get to the later hours of kind of turn in time, and Thrax, Tessa does say, thank you for spending this time with me. I've enjoyed looking at the stars, but I guess it's time to kind of head to bed. We probably have a big day meeting more fucking royalty, I guess. He's very out of his wheelhouse. He lives in the woods for the most part, in the wilds.
Yeah, we better turn in. It's unfortunate. This is a nice place. But yeah, long day.
Yeah, would you like this? Would you like Boss? I hope Bosco's not being a bother. If he can, would you like me to take him for tonight, or?
Why don't we let Bosco decide?
We're just gonna go where the chocolates are. Spoilers.
Yeah, he's just gonna follow the candy.
Like, it's all about consent. What does Bosco want? I'm not going to impose on him. Choices on him.
Well, I guess he made his decision.
So Thrax sees you to your room, and Bosco hops up on the bed and lays smack down in the middle of it, like the direct center of the bed.
Yeah, I know that feeling.
And Thrax, he after you have a moment of laughing about him, he looks at you and he goes, "Well, good night, Tessa. I'll see you tomorrow."
Good night. And she goes into her room and tries to figure out how to get around Bosco
without disturbing him. The next day, dawn comes. You all have another breakfast, and you head more in towards the town. And Neva, you're the first one to spot the riders from the Spring Court as amongst this very white, snowy holiday drop come these very vibrant green new spring colors. Some are have like cherry blossoms all over them, and this is your home court coming, and they stand out as a stark contrast to the winter wonderland that currently is the Crossroads. They arrive. They sort of ignore you folks as the people are coming to see them, as they do make their way up towards Castle Haven, and to introduce, to greet and be greeted by Lord Bentos. As Lady Stormbringer he makes an excuse for her. Now she's on a bender somewhere, but he is making excuses for her, and because he will be overseeing this. But that you actually, if you wanted to, you could go see a few of the courtiers. You would be able to get their attention, after they go through the formalities of hello, blah, 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 blah.
She would. She, once kind of basically things have settled down and the courtiers are kind of just mingling.
Are you taking the group with you, or are you going by yourself?
Depends. Do they look like they want to come? Are they giving me the puppy dog eyes of, can we come with you?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. If everybody's going, roll.
All right.
Oh,
yes,
this
they're-
is scene in Miracle where because we're a family.
And Bosco's giving you literal puppy dog eye.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mostly because he wants to be fed, because he's clearly never been fed once in his life.
I do slip him some jerky from my bag. Because he's obviously never been. Obviously.
No. You head there, and you're greeted by some folks kind of informally. There is one contact, which is the huntsmaster that is serving as the guard of this particular train of these people, at least the first wave of them. Their name is Undul. They are a sort of like a centaur stag type creature. Same build, but instead of being a horse, again, more of a great stag. And he seems relieved to see you, because this is very clearly a man of action amongst people that do talking all the time.
Right.
And he clearly has drawn a short straw, mostly because he is decently well known and has made a name for himself, which now requires him to do bullshit like this, which he hates.
Neva has absolutely missed many things about being the huntsmaster of the Spring Court. This shit ain't one of them.
No, it being one of them. So he the moment he sees you, he excuses himself, and he runs over to you. Now he's bigger than you, by about a head, and you folks see this large, great stag centaur clasp his hands onto Neva's shoulders, pick her up they are now looking at each other, and he goes, "Save me, please save me. I will give you anything. Save me."
Not laughing at for what it's worth. There's enough of Lord Bentos' guards here that you could probably at least get away for a little while.
Please help me.
There's gardens. Come see them.
Oh, good. I will go see the gardens now, and he's already walking. You folks are away from him, and you see this guy just is taking Neva away. Casually, and she seems to be laughing about it. She's not scared.
No.
So Undul puts you down in the gardens.
That bad, huh?
They didn't stop talking From when we
Who'd they
left.
send?
I came with pixies.
I'm so very sorry.
Yeah, they're from the Blossom Court. The Council of Grass as well. That was the first arrivals. And then there's, luckily, the Shepherds of the Trees are here. They were, by the seasons, blessedly quiet. I just sort of stayed with them most of the time, as many of them are aged. But the pixies wouldn't stop talking.
You didn't bring any, like, caramels or anything like that with you, did you?
Why would I do that?
Sticky sweets are hard for them to chew. They stop talking long enough to chew them.
I have to go now. And he's like almost like leaving you to go too, but he's stopped by your friends coming. He's like, Did you make a new hunt? You're not supposed to do that, he says, looking at the group.
I did not make a new hunt. I have a number of companions. We are seeking other adventures. Would you like to meet them, or are you going to go get caramels?
No, I guess that can wait. Hello, everyone. My name is Andal. It's a pleasure to meet you all. I'm sure you're fine. And he looks around the hodgepodge of people. Warriors? He says, kind of landing at Tessa and thinking that one's probably going to stick.
Adventures.
Nick gives him a thumbs up.
Excellent.
And well, this is Roscoe, Merrickson, Kiki, Akenku, as you can quite obviously see. Nicholas Doxson, and Tessa, who may actually look familiar to a few who've gone stumbling through the course before.
He leans into Tessa and goes, "Are you a baker?"
Oh, you know my family.
I've heard of you.
Here we go again.
Look, I have a very big, very expansive family.
Yeah, I believe you have a relative that is smaller and blonder, and she's very loud.
Oh yes, my cousin.
Yeah, we've seen her in some courts before, but it's a pleasure to meet all of you. I hope that the Neva has been serving you well, and you've been serving her well in return.
It's been great. We've had a lot of fun together.
Good. Neva, is there anything I could do to, while I do owe you from saving me from, and he looks back towards where the court is happening, and he shivers, for helping me. I must repay the favor somehow. Perhaps drinking, perhaps.
I'm more than content for now. I may ask you for your insights later on some of the goings-on, but go get caramels. It can wait.
If you're looking for information, I would check the tree shepherds. They are the most reasonable. He takes a big breath when he says that.
Thank you. Consider the favor repaid.
And he walks off into town, and as you know, to basically buy a lot of very sticky sweet sweets, which he's going to more or less force those pixies to eat on the way back.
The thing is about the pixies, you don't actually have to force them. Like, you just need to have them, like, generally conspicuously displayed. They will be eaten. And they're like,
so you folks are free to actually interact with all these spring fae now that they're kind of moving out into the larger crowd where you are and coming out to the gardens.
I'm just kind of like observing and like looking. Like they're pretty interesting looking, right?
Yep. So the pixies are just kind of fluttering like around and kind of moving around very rapidly between things. Kiki one just flies by your head and is infatuated with you for like a moment, and then her attention is somewhere else and she's just off like a shot. Yes, Kiki.
So Kiki's so nervous about Neva's admonition about don't speak with people, make deals, or blah blah blah. She actually keeps her squawk box around her throat that keeps her from talking. She keeps it off. She'll turn it on to introduce herself and turn it back off. Like she's
smart.
She's like
smart.
she's taken it to the extreme where she's like oh shit, I don't want to say anything that's going to get me in trouble. She's like, I don't want to make deals. So she's going to be unusually quiet for herself, unless anybody notices. Not like, she won't be rude. She'll be like, hi, nice to meet you, click. Like, she'll just like, limit her speech as much as possible.
Yep, the Council of Grass comes out next, and these look like very tall elven, like Eladrins, except instead of their normal, like, courtly, flowing, like, highborn selves, these are very, like, grassroots, dirty. They look like workers more than, like, the sort of high gossamer beings that you've heard of some of the Fae being. And they talk sort of like Bostonians, but in Sylvan. Like, they have a very harsh way of talking about it. They're like, this fucking guy. And they're sort of moving around, slapping each other on the shoulders. And they could remind you of dock workers. Like, these seem more work a day than maybe you were expecting. Finally coming out are these very tall, almost tree-like beings. Not quite Ents. They seem to sort of be like Neva in the fact they are partially humanoid, but partially perhaps like a dryad of some kind. And they move very, pretty slowly, walking with care to make sure they don't crush things. They're not huge, but they're definitely, their movements are a little bit more stiff and a little more, their steps are more measured as they come out. And they just seem to be delighted at everything. They're enjoying the snow. The pixies land on their fingers, and the pixies are talking 1,000 miles a minute. So it's like seeing a very small child talking to a grandparent, and the grandparent is just enjoying them. They're listening and enjoying them, but the kids, as the pixies, is bouncing around.
Wow, this is magical.
It rather is, isn't it?
Scoot,
I've never seen anything
are
like
we
it.
are we aware enough that this is Spring Court?
I mean, I would have
Kind of
explicitly told you that.
allied.
These are all spring courts.
Okay.
And from
Neva would give you kind of a brief explanation of, this is the Blossom Court represented by the Pixies, is the Court of Grass.
Nemo also do. There are many, many courts and organizations. There are like almost an endless list of various types. They break up and reform, but overall, the Spring Court is the larger entity, and it's good that it's the Spring Court because they look more favorably upon mortal beings. They see a lot of you, especially like humans like Nick, as a very, very young species that is meant to be guided, but with kindness.
The Spring Court is all about new growth, and basically sees the humans as perpetual new growth because y'all don't live very long.
No, you are incredibly short-lived compared to some of these beings, except for maybe the pixies. They don't live as long, but like these tree things are definitely older than Neva is.
By many, many, many multiples.
Yep, but they see you like generally, but like the fall and winter courts and compared to them, they see you as unruly children that perhaps need a more firm authoritative hand. Because again, you have lots of potential, you still can do things, but also giving you magic is like giving a child a gun. And they don't think maybe, like, there are some courts over there that don't think you should have it because you're just going to do terrible things.
Yep.
And the problem is, like, they're not right, but they're not wrong. So
if you use Kiki as an example,
it doesn't change anything.
No.
Oh, God.
Yeah, but you're dealing mostly with the Spring Court, and even there are of course other courts have come here to see what happens with this. But there aren't that many yet. Like, there's going to be representatives there just to see what happens, because this is sort of a big deal. But as Andal told you, the shepherds are probably the ones to talk to get the most, like, straight story out of.
Is there anybody else that I see here that I recognize?
One of the shepherds, whose name it's Bordeaux, you've seen them before. You've had a little bit of interaction with them, but not as much with the Pixies or with the Council of Grass. But that would be your in there.
Got it. I will plan to speak to him. Although for right now, I'm more concerned with my new companions, both not doing anything stupid, but also like actually getting to like interact somewhat.
Yeah, these are very pleasant. Most of you are able to get some sort of polite small talk with these beings. The pixies are very hard to kind of nail down and talk to because they're constantly moving. Nick, you've probably had the same You've had the same introductory conversation multiple times with the same pixies.
Oh no!
But like, they are genuinely interested in you. Although, Kiki, the big tree ones look very kind, and they do look to you after you talk with them. And there is a very like grandparent feel to them. As there's a warmth to them. I don't know if you still want to talk with them. They are, they're very interested in you.
So if they seem to be on the whole the quietest of the group, she would 100% like lean over, like, because again she's still just probably unnecessarily nervous about Diva's warning. So she would lean, and she'll be, like I said, she's not being rude. She will absolutely answer questions. She's not going to be but she's going to be, I guess, what passes for shy with her. Like she's reticent to talk too much, but she won't be silent.
Right, and they will ask you questions about like the things you have dangling on you, which they don't understand, as like your bombs and your other like tools that like. And if you tell them what they are, they're like, oh, and they're taking a genuine interest in that, because this doesn't seem to be something that's in their. They don't have bombs per se. They have magic, but they don't have what you are making, and they are keen on this.
She'll shyly come out of her shell if they take an interest.
So time will pass, and eventually the crowd will disperse a little bit as you spend a couple of hours just kind of talking and interacting with the various members of the course. But no one offers you deals or anything, and Neva thinks it's mostly because these folks have been instructed to not do that here. This won't break a law, but this is a faux pas to do here with unknowing creatures, which there in theory are going to be a lot of in the Crossroads for this context.
Scoot.
Yes.
This is tricky because it's more like our actual human realm, so I don't want to overstep, but in theory, spring is the start, but not primary storm season.
The major storm court, the storm court itself is in the summer court. That is where it's housed.
Yeah. So Roscoe is just kind of looking to the storm folk, or looking to the spring folk, to see if anybody's giving off a little bit of a storm vibe, but expecting that no one will.
Not yet. These are the first three to arrive.
Okay.
If you in time, more may come, but not these. These are just the first folks to get here.
I will just put it out there that Roscoe's looking for that. Looking for somebody on the Fae side of things that is exuding storm energy in some capacity. It's not in the spring, so that's fine.
Yeah, but one of the pixies will inform you if you're sort of looking for that. It goes, oh, well, the Lord of the Stormspire will be here in the next day or two.
You would very likely remember that was the one that Neva told you want to talk to him.
Yeah, that's part of Neva and I have had this conversation that there are people intrinsically linked to the philosophical essence of storm who are going to be around, and that's what I'm looking. That's exactly why I am looking for storm people right now. So great, love to bend their ear.
Yep, and as you're thinking about that, before you ask more questions, Pixie's just gone.
Yep, no problem.
And it's gone. So they begin dispersing these different courtiers to go deal with themselves, to kind of settle themselves in and wait for the other folks to come, some of them to prepare the coming court battle over this. But Neva, you are now freed up as the excitement is sort of dispersing. Everyone's coming back into town to go. The sort of the show is over.
What you said the name of the one that I want to talk to is Bordeaux?
Bordeaux.
I'll talk to him as that kind of things are starting to disperse, because I know that he'll be moving a little more slowly anyway.
He'll stop and he goes, "Oh, You're talking about... Oh, yeah, you're a huntsman gone wrong, huh? That's quite a thorn, isn't it?
It's not gone wrong quite so much, Bordeaux. Gone a different direction.
We could consult the roots.
We could.
Or memories. The wind's memories would know.
They would likely remember that particular battle.
No. We could contact the earth. The earth knows many things. Rock remembers.
Rock remembers well. What of your memory?
It's not as great as it once was. And you smell weed coming off of him, like fantasy weed, as he's been eating it like raw, as he's wont to do. He goes, I think we could tap you into rock, and you could go see for yourself these things.
Which things?
The things you seek. The good earth, the good rock knows many things, as it is everywhere, and he just gestures to like the ground around you. Or wind. Wind knows. Wind carries many messages.
It's rather more challenging for me to tap into root systems than it might be for you.
Well, perhaps an accord, a trade for aid.
God. I said not to make deals, damn it.
You told them not to make deals.
It's true. Neva knows about deal making. Neva might still make a bad deal.
Now, you also know that like these particular folks, the tree herders, are sort of known to not be predatory, too dickish with their things, especially like if they like you, they will be more apt to help you. You just figure out what Bordeaux particularly wants for exchange.
Weed. He wants really good weed. Conveniently enough, I know a guy.
No, that's not what he wants, actually.
Nick's gonna go work some connections.
I just gotta get back to Ventos real quick.
What do you seek and what do you offer?
I wish to witness and learn about beings, and I've heard I heard the earth tells me our hunts marshal has run off to gather Stixies for pixies. So that came from you, but the earth has told me you were with a new hunt.
Not a new hunt, with new companions.
A new hunt. That's how he's going to see it in his sort of adult mind. Yes.
Do you seek to meet them?
I wish to know of them, and I wish to hear stories of them. He says He says I wish to see stories of them.
Mm-hmm.
If I share the sites of their stories, will the sites of their stories be gone from my memories?
Oh, we won't be. And a very Cheshire smile comes over his face. I have a way that I think I will get what I need, and you can get what you need from the good earth.
Oh.
So think of it as a play, and you and your hunt will be the players.
I can neither consent for them nor ask of them to share those things.
But perhaps we make a new thing. Or perhaps we should ask them, he says, and he perks up at that.
We could.
Then let's, and he just walks away from you towards your friends. And this large tree being, sort of half person, half tree, comes up to you and informs you that, hello. And he introduces himself as Bordeaux, and that, he has this proposition for you to help the good earth get Neva the information she needs. And that's exactly what he tells you, and most of you have no clue what the hell
there
that
at that
means.
point?
Yeah, Neva's following him.
Yes, Neva round. I want to see Neva's face when that statement is made.
Everyone, this is Bordeaux. Bordeaux tells me that the rocks and the root systems may have some of what I need to know. He is also a seeker of knowledge. He asked me to share the sights of your stories, which are not things I would offer up without consent.
He waves his hand. No, not your stories. New stories in the theater of the mind.
Tess is very confused.
The fucking puppet.
Roscoe raises his hand. Bardo, can I buy a drink?
Sure, and he walks over to a pool and just puts a hand in.
What do you just drink? Like syrup? Sap?
So Roscoe takes off his boots, sticks his feet in the water, puts his feet in the water. We're communing here.
Clear and cool. A very
Bardo.
nice pool, he says, as he seems to be enjoying the water, as you see it drain a little bit.
Bardo, what do you... Well, let me ask it this way. You have something of value for our Neva?
Information. Well, connection to the Earth who will have information.
Okay, fair enough. And what can we share with you, with her, with ourselves that would let you give that to Neva?
And he leans down to you and he goes, merriment.
Okay. Roscoe takes out his pack of cigarettes and his flask. Roscoe lights a cigarette, pours a little bit of his flask into the little pond here, but also as close to the roots as possible. Get some.
Are you trying to get this tree drunk?
Yeah, I'm trying to get this tree drunk.
No, little being. Thank you. I appreciate things, but if you all would be players for me for a time, then I can connect you to the Earth that may show you the path forward for your Neva.
Tessa raises her hand.
He points to Tessa.
Do you want us to put on like a puppet show?
No.
Like a play?
This would be in the theater of the mind. He points.
What is that?
He goes, I can show you.
Let's do it.
I kind of look to Neva like.
Tessa.
I don't know if I should.
So Neva, no deal.
We're gonna
no
do it.
terms and deals have been offered yet. He's just offering to show you what he means.
Yes.
No bargain is being struck at the moment. He's just offering to show.
Clarity on the terms would be appreciated.
Right. So he instructs you all to dip a physical part of you, like somewhere where the water will seep into the pool that he is now touching.
My feet are already in. So.
That
Neva
seems like
places a hand on it.
I will take a boot off and stick a foot in there as well.
Boot.
Kiki, Nick,
Hand on it.
Stick a hand in.
and Thrax.
Yeah,
will
she'll
also
do a hand. Yeah.
There's a moment where all of your eyes go sort of fuzzy, and you find yourselves on this. There's this fairy circle that's glowing moss around you, and you seem to be in this cave made of wood, kind of and coming up to the top, and you see that that Bordeaux is in where an audience would be, and we're on a very natural stage. So he is in your mind. He is helping you to see these things. You feel like you're in a little bit of a trance. Nothing feels wrong.
Musical number? Are we gonna break out into song?
Not until you agree to terms, that's for sure. And he goes, so he looks at all of you. You can see him. He's rooted in place, and there's darkness kind of below where his waist should be. And he goes, 2 stories for me, information for you from the earth.
I give my proxy vote to Neva.
I had a question.
Mm-hmm.
Scoot, is this how you're getting your Hallmark story?
Not necessarily, but maybe. I told you I'd been working on this over the holiday.
You did.
I'm also deferring to Neva. I'm kind of like,
I was gonna say, I imagine all like he offers and
Everyone's
all of us
looking at
just like,
Neva.
yep.
I'm
So
okay
Neva
with
was
it, but
saying-
Neva's okay.
Sounds fine, but
So
Neva
long-
said don't.
So as any and all consequences fall on me, we accept.
Kiki looks at you, and she uses her mimicry trait, and she says word for word in your voice, your admonition to us. Don't make deals with the Fae. Everything is literal. Avoid. She says like linear, like word for word in your own voice, and she stands there mimicking your body language too. Like she's generally part sass and part genuine concern. She was like, "I was told." She's like has it in her notebook. She's like
Pointing to it. Yeah. So you.
What I feel like
do
Or I feel
not
like-
underlined
red underlined, exclamation mark, exclamation mark, exclamation mark.
under no.
So Neva has agreed. He agrees.
Neva did not say under no circumstances.
No. He. And
Okay.
He's.
Whatever you said.
Yeah.
No, whatever
so
you said.
The deal
That's
is
what Kiki
struck.
wrote.
And all of a sudden, all of you stand there, and you feel yourself shrink down to when you were children. Like you take the form you did as
Why you wanted to know what we
children.
were like as kids.
And you're like little kids right now. Whatever that meant for you folks, being so like
Well, actually,
you're like sort of toddler to like elementary school. So like Nivy, you're no longer you're no longer you're not attached to the tree anymore. You're probably like around what is the equivalent of like 10 years old.
okay. Then Neva's not literally a tree.
Yeah. But you all think like 10-year-olds do. Like your mind has regressed to that point.
Okay.
And you feel a strong urge as you look around, and you're in a very lovely home, very homey home, kind of like grandma grandpa vibe. And there's a couch, and you all collectively decide we have to build a fort.
Pillow fort!
These kids
Yes,
often do.
Yes.
There are chairs, cushions, blankets everywhere.
Tessa's walking up with like more than her body mass of pillows. Like she just lifted an entire couch.
Go.
Of the pillows.
Do it.
Go time.
How do you do this? How do you
Where-
fort?
All right, so you have to have a stable top structure, and you need to put like the stronger cushions on the side, and you need sheets, lots of sheets. Tessa's got this.
Nick's
Got
gonna
a lot of
go look for sheets and also look through the house for anything that can be easily pocketed.
Yeah, there are many things that could easily be pocketed. There are lots of tchotchkes kind of everywhere.
I'll pocket whatever looks most expensive.
Roscoe,
Neva will come over and kind of just quietly stand behind him until he notices her as he's taking things.
You all have a sense that these other children are your friends. Like you know they're friends. You feel like you've known them for a long
Okay.
time.
and is Neva
Okay.
like 13?
No, Neva
Neva,
is
I'm
Like
gonna-
slightly old, like you're barely the babysitter.
Neva's still the same age.
Yep.
Neva is 10.
Neva
Neva's
hit
been
me with,
45 since she was born, probably, though, let's be honest.
Yeah. With
So-
a perception to see if you see me swipe the thing.
She's following
sleight of
behind
hand
you. Okay.
Well, if she's next to me, I'm not gonna swipe it.
So just roll a d20, Nick, because you don't have your years of experience in this. You're a small child.
Yeah, Neva's passive perception is only like a 19 now or something. Merely like
A week.
Week 19.
I'd have to be hella old. Pockets get or hella young. I mean,
My passive perception is 22.
We're gonna drop that by a little bit, but Rob still doesn't make it. So Neva.
a raw
catches you.
d20 is a 17.
Right, Neva still catches you because perception is the thing you get very young. Like children have amazing vision and eyes.
So yeah, no. So I specifically like one of the things about Neva, like at that age, the thing that she was most good at noticing was like subtle injuries or illnesses in animals. But in general, she was a quiet observer and not great at the whole friend thing.
But you do see that Child Nicholas has gone around and is now pocketing spoons and some like very
just whatever the most expensive looking tchotchke is.
Yeah, so he's taken it and he's putting it into his pocket.
Does he notice me noticing him?
You turn around and see her because you
We'll go with sure.
Yeah.
I raise an eyebrow at her. Absolutely unapologetic.
Slowly
back.
slipping it in your pocket, making eye contact.
Put it back.
what?
It's not yours. Put it back.
Buy food for everyone.
Do we need food currently?
Always low on food.
There's a snack table.
Snacks don't keep as well as gold. You know that.
Nick's a hard 10-year-old.
Nick is a
That's
hard
a wrong
10-year-old.
one.
Nick
10-year-old man.
Nick was picked up on the docks
Yeah.
as an infant and was raised in a very poor orphanage in the crime-ridden, like, poor part of Ventos, the like filthy trade city. Like, he is a very hard 10-year-old.
Yeah, it's a hard ass.
Think of places that have a full table full of snacks right now randomly with no grown-ups around are the kinds of places that have enough food the rest of the time. No one's making us leave here. There's food here.
Tessa is eating.
You don't
some
need to
food,
take
by
it.
the way.
Face full of
She,
chocolate.
like flew up to the table.
Like a chubby little cherub.
While going back and forth between constructing an epic pillow fort.
Yep.
He like
It's not yours.
place a cushion and like nod approvingly. Okay, yeah, that was good. Time for a snack though. That pillow, that one cushion was exhausting.
Absolutely.
But Nick, you're not currently putting clothes on. You're in the middle of a theft.
No. I know. Nick puts it back a little grudgingly.
Come on, let's get snacks.
Thrax will be helping.
Nick is placated by snack.
Yeah, Thrax will be helping Tessa to like fly things over the top to make it easier to get there. But Roscoe and Kiki, what are you two up to? Baby versions of you.
Baby bird.
Baby burb. Sitting in a mess
Baby
screaming.
Roscoe was, or 10-year-old Roscoe was very focused on like super rudimentary sailing skills so that I could prove that I was ready to go out with Dad on his trips.
Mm-hmm.
So like the fort, like especially the sheets section, I'm like tying some tight sheep shanks, monkey's paws, like
Nice.
some badass knots to like secure the pillow fort correctly. Like
Good job,
it's a lot
Roscoe.
of knots, and it's just I'm just like focused on that, and you notice that Roscoe at 10 years old is a little more desperate for people to like him and appreciate what he's doing than the Roscoe you know regularly.
Tessa's definitely like giving him a thumbs up and like tossing him cookies. Like, that's awesome. Good job.
It's huge. It's huge.
Kiki.
Okay, so Kiki at 10 didn't have her squawk box. So she can basically only quote things she's heard and maybe a few simple expressions. And so she sees people starting to build randomly, and she's horrified. She
God, no!
so
Mother
she
of God.
quotes something she heard a bard say in a performance once, and in this male voice you hear her say, "Somebody get me some markers, some construction paper, and some glitter glue." And so she starts plotting out, and she starts trying to show in gestures to Tessa, who's probably not the best choice for this kind of like 10-year-old blueprint design. She's trying to convey the like structural design elements to her
Tessa's
by
nodding
pointing.
along. She's like,
Like she's pointing and gesturing because she can only do certain phrases and words. So that's what she's trying to do. She wants to design it, get consensus, test the structural integrity, and build it. So she's trying not to be rude, but she kind of wants to start.
So Tessa takes Kiki's drawing and maybe even lifts Kiki up and says, guys, this is what we're doing. And she points to the very ornate drawing that Kiki did.
So Neva will come over at that point and take a look at the drawing and say, okay, if we're doing that, we need to sort out what we're building with. So we should put the square pillows over here and the rectangle pillows over there and the sheets over here. Roscoe, you're going to tie the sheets, right? You do good knots?
Yep.
Okay. You are in charge of this part. And she points to a part of the drawing. And we need some stuff that goes up high. So Tessa and Fact, you guys are going to do this part.
On it.
And
they fly up.
And Kiki, you and Nick and I are going to put the foundation up because Kiki, you know what it should look like, and you can point Nick and I where to go.
Kiki is so excited, especially with the like square pillows go here. Like she's just like you can tell by her gestures. Say what?
Functionally, Neva is kerning everything right now before we get started with the project.
You're the oldest 10-year-old Kiki's ever met, and she's delighted by organizational structure.
The fort is going up pretty well. The one thing you also folks notice about Thrax is he seems to be more magically inclined. He's using things like Mage Hand to help move things into place where Kiki tells him to. He's also following Tessa like a puppy, which is weird because Puppy Bosco is also following them as a puppy, but he is a puppy, so it makes more sense.
I definitely hit him in the face with a pillow, though.
Yeah, and he sort of just pops on the ground, and he has that sort
Why
of
do
like...
I feel like Kiki's blueprint has in some part of it like sectioned off rooms, and at some point in the process of building the rooms, like one particularly small closet-sized one, she accidentally like builds herself inside. Tessa accidentally builds herself inside of it. You know how to get out.
Guys, I did it again.
Kiki, have you ever seen the episode of Community where they build the most amazing pillow fort ever?
Yes,
and they design.
It's like the Civil War doc.
Kiki designs a pull cord for Tessa so that she can like just get out. Like it's like pull only in emergency, which she writes on construction paper, and it's so that Tessa can get out.
I did pull it. So
no!
On the plus side, I found a bunch more pillows in this closet.
How did we get more pillows from a closet that was made of pillows?
Oh, I accidentally took them from the walls.
Don't ask those questions.
You like absent-mindedly are dismantling it and come out like, I got all these pillows, and we're all just like, but Tessa.
Thrax shows you the error of that particular logic and helps you to put them back where they need to go.
I put them back haphazardly.
Thrax fixes it.
I feel like Kiki is just like...
But after a few moments, you folks have, this majestic 10-year-old fort, and you all feel very proud of yourselves. And you hear one of the paintings that's on the wall is of Bordeaux, and he is smiling and laughing as the world shifts again. And this time, you folks feel yourself grow, and you grow into your adolescent stage. So we're talking like high school level, you folks.
So Kiki's 15 in the game.
So it's what that would be for Kiki, because she ages slightly.
Okay.
Yeah, like her equivalent of that.
Okay, she'd be like 11 or 12, like because of how Kinku's age.
Yeah,
Okay,
I'm using these numbers as a reference for you folks more than your characters. And you're all in like an academy together, and you have been charged with putting on a very short solstice vignette. You may choose the story, but you have to put on a show, put on this scene on a budget. Go.
Roscoe is absolutely a piece of shit in high school. Roscoe says, I'm going to be in charge of special effects, and then pulls sunglasses down that weren't there before, and leans back into a corner and is just like, I'll do special effects, leave me the fuck alone.
Are you wearing skinny jeans?
There's probably skinny jeans.
Cigarettes.
I have to
if you're doing special effects, I'll probably also need you to do stage managing. Just making sure the sets are in place.
Okay, fine.
Tessa raises her hand. I like to act and sing.
I know you'll do. I know you like that. Kiki. I know normally you might like to do special effects, but I was thinking, especially since you've practiced so much with trying to find the right words to say, maybe you could help write the script?
Kiki shrugs. She's sort of like, sure. I feel like Kiki in high school would have been a member of the AV club or media club, whatever it's called now. Like she.
Sorry, I didn't hear all
this. Behind the stage.
Record this or just put it on a stage.
Whatever you're just gonna be on it's gonna be on a stage.
Okay.
She'll happily do it, but she's a little nervous about her writings. Not that she can't, just
we can work on it together. But I also thought you'd be great with the lighting, like all of the wiring and the lighting. I don't think that
all of the magical wiring that needs to happen.
Yes. Kiki just says, "Bright lights, big city." Like that's her way of saying yes.
I feel like she's heard that though. She's like, bright lights, big city, like the whole.
Yeah, there you go. She's
all right. So what was Nick like as a this age range?
So he would have just recently started his actual apprenticeship at this point. So he's in a wizard's robe that is like perfectly cut to him. That he is extremely uncomfortable looking in. And a little bit, mostly just feels like really out of place. Like super by default, yeah. But when you talk about special effects, he makes some sparks and looks briefly hopeful.
Well, perhaps you and Roscoe would like to coordinate the special effects together. And,
yeah, we can probably do that.
And Tessa, I think you and Thrax would make some wonderful stars of the show.
Tessa was definitely in drama club in her high school, and she's pretty much a more exuberant, annoying version than the Tessa you already know. So,
all the boys were fighting to see who would get the kiss scene.
Probably not, actually, or she was very oblivious in high school, so she wouldn't have picked up on that at all.
Only in high school was she oblivious.
Only in high school.
Only in high school.
No, the Tessa you know is toned down.
Okay. Okay.
Thrax has a very clean-cut, sort of like jockish vibe to him, but he's not the quarterback of the football team. He probably plays like one of the lesser sports the school is known for, but is okay at it. But that's also why he's here, because he likes doing other things.
Plays like JV hockey.
Yeah, like he does like one of the weirder sports that everyone's like, all right, you can do that, I guess. He's like, yeah, whatever, but like no one at the school cares about it.
Lacrosse.
Rugby.
Wait, what does
Yeah, he's
what
lacrosse
did-
captain.
Yeah.
what does Neva look like? Like, are her normally long tendrils like just little sprouts? Like what? Like was she?
So Neva looks smaller. You'll notice that like her skin tint is it's less like kind of that mocha-ish tint that you know, and it's more like kind of greenish, like new wood. Her hair is it's still colorful, but again, also like a lighter color than it was. She also
Spring
seems,
cleaning.
yeah, basically that's the she's also like she's willowier.
Hmm.
The older she gets, the more kind of solid she gets. So she seems kind of more whipcord lean. Hi, Iman.
Says hi.
Okay, you folks, roll me d20s, everyone, to see how this goes. Just roll me straight d20s. And we'll see how...
Crit! I crit!
19!
Okay.
Yes.
Crit from Tessa, 19 from Neva.
Eva's directing, by the way, in case that weren't evident.
Oh!
Crit!
Neva directing.
Shocking.
I
Well,
get
it's
so
a good thing
mad.
that one of Texas people got a crit because I have a 9.
This is a group check, by the way, everyone.
Thank God.
It's a
16
huge.
Huge. 2 crits. Kiki got a 16. Robert coming in lowest having a 9.
So excited when it's nothing above a 1.
Yeah. Thrax got himself a 12, and Bosco got a 17. So together, you all, like, again, Tessa is this insane, like, siren singer that blows this crowd away. The special effects are on point.
Is there a crowd?
There's this phantom crowd that is now in the
Okay.
auditorium.
here for it.
Roscoe is on point with special effects. The script and lighting is good. Nick sets a fire, but everyone thinks it's part of the show.
Oh,
Yes.
God damn it.
And luckily, there's a cute dog, so no one's really noticing that. Thrax is flubbing some of his lines and not hitting the... He's more of a baritone than a tenor that this scene calls for, but no one notices because the dog and like Tessa's doing such a good job, and there's a cute dog on the stage, so no one is really paying attention to Thrax. But you all have passed. Good job.
Yay.
As you all come out to take bows from your vignette, you feel yourselves grow more into your current forms. And there is Bordeaux sitting in this sort of, not darkness, but this sort of opaque blue surrounding, looking thrilled and clapping slowly at what he saw. And you folks, as he doesn't move, but sort of floats towards the edge of the stage, and he looks at you and goes, "Masterfully done. That was wonderful. Thank you all."
We should do an escape room next.
Crossroads have those.
Yep.
They do.
But
Yeah.
now you've filled your part, so now it's time for mine. And you folks feel yourself connected to, can sink down from the stage, and you feel yourself hit what feels like bedrock, which is very new for some of you, although Neva, you felt your mother's roots go down this far before. It's a little startling because you feel all you folks feel yourself planted. But all of you share a vision of some following information. You see the gentleman that attacked you at the ruins, and you can hear his comrades talking to him. His name is Panel Thornvine. He's a member of one of the hunts of the Spring Court. And he is just kind of serving his time, and actually as the visions of him moving and carrying out his duties, you do see that he is in fact riding alongside of Neva in one or two of the hunts, although the two never seem to really notice each other. Neva's very much the forefront leading people, and he is following behind or breaking off with another group. You see that he is there. He is told that something has happened to Neva, although he is forced to go somewhere else as part of this. But they're told that Neva is okay, but something has happened with a Flamodian as he is hunting in this particular time. More time passes, and you watch Panel become far more jaded as time goes on, and very angry at the mortal realm, which seems to run very counter of what Neva has told you about much of the Spring Court. There comes a point where his actions become so reckless that he is exiled from the hunt and from the court itself. And you're not quite sure why as you sink deeper, and then it becomes clear. So during one of the hunts of Flamodians, or other, it looks like Flamodians or some other threat that has threatened the Springlands, Panel comes across a gateway, and he leads his hunt, some of his fellow hunters, under the guise of he has been ordered to, onto the mortal plane. And he begins being, he looks around, sort of mistakenly coming out of the gate, not quite sure why. He went through maybe thinking to see if it was active, to see if this was supposed to be here, if this was unguarded, and he sees a city in the distance, and he sees the destruction of the woods and the wilds, and land, trees being cut down for farmland, and the fires of industry of the city polluting the sky, and he becomes enraged. And they camp out for probably a day or two in the mortal plane, which Neva knows is a no-no unless you're specifically here to do something. This should not be happening. And then he makes a decision. He lies to his fellow hunt members, and he starts to take them on raids. He starts by raiding a quarry that is digging and robbing the earth of stone and gems and things where it should be, minerals and irons. He attacks a trade caravan that is unarmed. He doesn't kill people, but he overturns things. He burns these manufactured goods. He scares people off. Some people put up a fight. They beat up a lot of people. They don't kill anyone. And although over the course of probably a week, he's getting progressively more aggressive. And then he comes to a very small, undefended village. And he takes a step that he cannot take a step back from. As he readies his hunt, many of which he's lying to and telling them this is the orders from the hunt. They're there to purge these mortals. And some of them at this point are done. They've had enough and they abandon him, and they try to make their way back to the Feywilds, but some choose to stay. And on the next morning, they are going to attack this village and slaughter all of the inhabitants. And none shall survive.
Damn.
Fortunately, at this point, as dawn rises, something happens that Panel does not expect. Beings in golden armor surprise his band, striking very quickly. Some in radiant golden armor, some shrouded in shadow, and moving impossibly fast, bringing down the hunt, bringing down these hunters, hitting them in battle before they're able to hit this village, and they strike his hunt hard and fast, killing a lot of them. But they take Panel captive. They clap him in irons, magically imbued irons, and drag his ass back to the courts. He is then at that point his crimes are read out, as this is a no-no, and I think even Nick and everyone, but probably Kiki, would have some idea of what the Astral Accord is, which basically means beings from other realms do not have to respect the autonomy of the other realms, especially the mortal realm. But this guy is brought back before the courts. He is tried very quickly for his crimes, and he is set to be executed, but he escapes, and he flees off into the wilds, and no one knows where he has went. You all see these visions. However, something else happens as you've entered the earth. You all find yourselves a little bit separated. And before you, all of you in this kind of darkened cavern, on a pedestal, lays a deck of cards.
Yes! Finally! We get to it.
Nope, 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 nope.
Now you may choose.
Yep,
now,
yep, yep,
there is
yep,
a,
yep,
again,
yep,
you're in a
yep,
room
yep,
at a
yep.
cave. There's on the pedestal a deck of cards, and then beyond the pedestal is a door. You are each free to decide what you want to do, but there's an aura that seems to be coming off the deck of cards. It doesn't make you do anything, but it gives you the feeling that there are great riches to be found inside this magical item.
Neva is honestly too distracted and upset by what she's seen and what Panel's done to pay much attention to the cards. She kind of just, not quite storms, but very purposefully walks out of the cavern because she's like, I got shit to do and I need to leave now.
Okay.
So we're in the vision still and we see
You've
these, or we're
left
back
this.
from the vision?
You've left.
Okay.
You've left the tree shepherd's power, and the earth itself has been showing this to you. But before you come back to yourselves and your sort of own consciousness, you each find yourselves alone in a room with this deck of cards. Neva has chosen to ignore it along with everything else happening and move off. But the rest of you have that choice to make.
And there's no, like, we don't hear a voice explaining things. There's just a deck of cards.
There's a deck
no
of cards, but there's
signs saying, like, play me or...
Well, you feel this.
Draw one.
You feel this tug towards the cards. It's not a compulsion. It's not forcing you to do anything, but there is this idea that there are great riches to be found from this deck of cards.
So here's Roscoe's full thinking, and the punchline is I'm absolutely pulling a card. But here's Roscoe's full thinking. I have spent a lifetime while I love him, I've spent a lifetime feeling like the watered down version of my dad. And
Low calorie storm angel.
yeah, I am the Coke Zero of storm angels.
I can't believe it's not storming.
Right.
I can't believe it.
Absolutely right. I am
Call you
Coke
Stevie.
Zero. And I also am, in recent times, have seen, when we walked through Sigil, real angels for the first time. And Roscoe's a little desperate to get a glow up, to get a bump, to be able to take on these people who he thinks are assholes who have fucked over his dad. So Roscoe is a little desperate for power and is willing to roll the dice, both figuratively and literally.
Will, choose me a number between 1 and 28. I'm not using a standard
I
deck of
have
things. I am using something that was gifted to me by one of the players here, a deck of many more things.
Oh, I'm absolutely rolling a D28. I will not make that decision for myself.
Okay, tell me what your number is.
17.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Roscoe, the man you all know, becomes a woman as you have pulled the couple when the card says you change genders
Rosca
immediately. Now I will say this for the sake of the game. You don't have to become a woman. You can become any other gender alignment, sexual orientation you wish that isn't your current one. For the ease, you can just switch and become a lady, or you can make something else.
I will say Roscoe becomes Rosca. No problem.
Okay.
Oh my
But
God.
but with that, Roscoe would immediately pull a second card.
Okay. Count me off again.
She's dumb. She's dumb.
She's dumb.
Girl,
Girl.
what you doing?
Is it still out of 28 or is it 27
That's
now?
still out of 28.
Now, will this make Dala leave
All
you
right, let's just do it
alone?
again.
Or...
Oh, you think doll is
Why?
straight?
Probably not.
No.
It's gonna be more about this.
21.
21. Okay, well, it's got interesting, Roscoe. You pulled the card that's called the
It's
Crown.
already super
So
interesting.
it's gonna get more interesting. You pulled a card called the Crown. You are now the leader of a small, faraway nation.
Yes, Queen.
I will be a terrible queen. A powerful
Yes,
queen.
Queen.
Oh, I want to go next.
You may pull one more time if you wish. You can
I
up
will
to
pull
3.
one
Just
more time.
Give me a number.
Holy-
I'll pull a third time. Hell yes, I'll pull a third time.
Okay.
Still out of 28?
Still at 28. I'm shuffling them.
Oh,
28.
Go to the back of the pack here.
Yo, what if I turned back into a boy?
You pulled the rabbit. Your base speed increases by 20 feet.
Oh shit!
wow. Fast.
So fast.
I'm the fastest queen alive!
With that, the deck dissipates. And
Perseus,
you awaken
someone
yourself.
in Perseus is like, bitch, please.
So Roscoe's out, Neva's out. The other three of you, are you?
Oh,
what
I'm
is
gonna
your- Okay, you want to pull?
So, Tessa is just motivated by pure curiosity at this point. She's not looking for power or riches or anything, but she likes adventure and she doesn't want to have a regret of something that could have been. So she's going to pull a card, and my lucky number is 22, so that is what I'm going to go with.
Okay. 22. Ooh, Tessa has pulled the shield. You are now protected by a mystical aura that grants you a permanent damage reduction of 5.
Ooh.
Oh,
Is that-
jeez, that's
Yeah,
amazing.
no.
What?
Is that like a +5 resist all?
Yep, plus 5
Or like-
resist. A 5 resist all to Tessa.
Wow, that
So
is
if she
like-
takes 10, she actually takes like
So
10
the way I've done
damage.
this in the
She
past
takes
is
5?
per round. So Tessa can ignore 5 damage that she takes in a round. So it's not just 5 off of
Okay.
everything that hits her, because that would get.
Yeah.
That's
That is not bad.
seems much more reasonably balanced and still extremely good.
Okay.
I feel like this was a sign because I pulled a shield, which, you know, being a paladin, I'm not going to push it. I got my good luck. I'm going to walk out the door.
I am the shield that guards the realms of men.
Okay.
Yeah,
Kiki,
I am a shield maiden of Rohan.
Roscoe. I'm sorry, Nick.
Nick is going to sit there for a little while and think about it for a little bit. And so as a child, he would have instantly taken one. Any chance to get ahead, you know.
Hmm.
You don't know. You might die tomorrow anyways, so worth a shot. As an adult, less so, but having just been a child, he feels a little regressed. And it's very magical, which is very fascinating. So Nick's going to pull a card.
All right, how many?
You're shuffling every time, right?
Yep.
1.
Okay.
Just whatever's on. Nick's just going to flip the top card. He's not going to, like, go for a long pull or
Nick
anything.
pulls the will. A distant relative leaves you a large estate.
Ooh.
That checks out.
Mhm.
I have no way of knowing, but that's a totally
So no,
like-
you don't. Yeah, you pull a card.
maximum trope.
It looks like a mansion. You don't know what that means. Then it vanishes. Anything else? Are you pulling
Okay.
any more?
Nick, you could pay off your student loans now.
I was low-key hoping you'd pick the couple so we'd all be female characters.
That would be so good, actually.
Girl power.
Nick
Kiki, anything?
is
Or
a little.
Nick, are you
I'm gonna
pulling
pull
any more?
another card.
Pulling another
Yeah,
card?
yeah. Next, gonna pull another
It's
one.
ladies' night.
Pull another one.
And
You just pull it off the top again.
Yeah, just the top one again.
Well, Randall got his wish.
What is it?
Nick is
Oh.
now
Oh my god!
Nicole.
Nicola.
Well,
what are you
I will
doing?
give you the same. I'll give you the same choice I gave. For fairness, just because
Yep,
we don't want to
yep.
make anyone do anything. You can be any other identity, gender, whatever combination you would like, just not your current one. And for the sake of the audience, there are ways in this world to change this magically again. These players they don't have to do this. There is a way to reverse this or revert it, or just if they wanted to be females, they can just be that. There's plenty of magic out there to help that to happen.
Ladies' night.
Oh, but Nikki is so smooth.
Nikki.
Like, Nikki has a nice...
Yeah, definitely. Okay.
Nikki could also be gender neutral. So yeah.
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right.
Okay, so actually, Nick has always been... So, he's always been very, like, cis male, but not because of, like, a specific attachment to his masculinity, but just because he never really considered any other options. So I think Nick is absolutely the sort who would be like, yeah, we're gonna go, like, full, like, totally cis female presenting and, like, try it out. Life on the other side.
Okay, so bam, that happens.
We're a magical girl group.
Anything else?
Yeah.
Because you can pull up to one more time.
Oh, we'll do one more.
I do actually have to hop off, so please post what people are getting, because I have a meeting I have to hop on to, unfortunately.
No problem, Farewell.
Yeah, we will be picking this up soon. So okay, so
this
one more
has been mysterious and, like, fascinating, even if I don't end up sticking with it. So yeah, we'll pull it through.
Okay. Right off the top again.
Right off the top again.
Okay, manacles. You lose the use of your hands and feet for 3 hours. So Nikki just drops to the ground.
Oh,
Your
so
your torso and, like, you're breathing, you're fine, you're okay, but, like, you ever sleep really weird in one of your arms and it just doesn't move?
Oh God!
And you're
I
just
hate that.
stuck there.
So I still have my hands.
Yeah, no,
and
they're
feet.
there.
They're just
you,
like
you can't. They're just you can't use them.
they just don't respond at all.
Yep.
Okay, well, I will
See you in 3 hours.
uncomfortably crawl out of the cave.
Kiki.
all right. So one question, DM.
Mm-hmm.
Did Kiki see people change, or have they always,
No one-
to her mind, been
You will see.
Been
So when you come
their
out of
current
this,
gender
so
presentation?
Kiki hasn't
Yeah.
seen any of this
Oh.
yet. Kiki just
Okay,
sees
great.
the
Okay.
cards in the door. You will see your new friends
Yeah,
when you leave.
Okay. All right. So, yeah, because Kiki, I was like, okay, Randall, the player, would not take a card. Kiki, both out of curiosity and because she's got big plans in this world, she'll pull a card. She'll pick 14, just right out of the middle.
Okay. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay. Kiki got Spyglass. Someone somewhere gets complete, intimate knowledge of you and is indifferent about it currently.
She has like a bored peeping Tom. Is this what basically?
No, but, like, you realize that somebody somewhere knows you better than you know yourself, and currently does not have any ill or beneficial intentions about it. You don't know who it is. Someone out there does. It could be a god. It could be a stable boy. You don't know.
It could be that guy in the puzzle box that she saw. She doesn't know. Okay.
Could be.
All right. She's gonna. That's so weird and random.
Probably
She's gonna
hot
pick
dog
one.
guy.
Yeah, she's gonna pick one more.
Okay.
She'll add since she picked 14. She's gonna add 1 and 4 together, and she'll pick the 5th card.
I feel like how we pulled this card is very telling.
Yeah, right. Kiki's a numbers gal. She's like.
Okay. I'm gonna not do that card because I don't know how I feel about it. So we're gonna do the next
gosh.
one. Yeah, it's
Okay.
The card you pulled is about, like, the last creature you touched. You and that creature make a biological child, but I don't know how I feel about that.
Was it Isaac?
No, it would have been one of the tree
No.
people, probably.
Oh, the tree people.
Oh,
Ooh.
probably. Oh wow.
Yeah, I don't know how.
Tree bird.
Tree bird.
I don't know how I feel.
That's
I don't
a
know how
good
I, as a
woodpecker.
DM, feel
No
about
problem.
that, to be fair, so I'm going to give you the
Yeah.
next
Look,
one, which is. if
She'd
that's
be a
okay.
teenage parent.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
So you got the Muse. So the next mundane statue you encounter becomes an intelligent golem that will just hang out with you. Now you don't know that.
That
You
is-
just you see
Yeah,
this,
yeah.
you see a statue on the card and you're like, okay, and then it just vanishes.
Okay, she's done.
Okay.
That's probably all. She's not going to risk it.
So you folks walk out. You come out of the pool, and you look around. And Tessa and Kiki, the first things you notice is that where once were Roscoe and Nick are now lady versions of them.
Like, Roscoe? Nick? Or what happened? Are you suddenly female? I mean, nice tits.
Nick looks
You're
down.
not wrong.
Confused, or
You're
Nikki
not
looks
wrong.
down confused. Oh God, did I just dead name myself?
Oh,
I think it's forgivable. You did just transfer like 2 minutes ago.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair. Oh. Oh. Well, that's different.
How about that?
Yeah.
So do you still want to go by Nicholas or
Nikki seems right.
Nikki? Roscoe?
I could have been Nicholas.
You still can be if you want to.
Can I call-
Last.
I'll still go by Nikki, but that'll be
I'm not sure if the emphasis was on the last or
Let's-
the S.
Why not both?
Let's go with just Ross for right
Ooh.
now.
yeah, all right.
Well, if you guys have any questions about, like, being a woman, certainly let me know. I'd be happy to help. I'm sure this is a big change.
Bucks and Bombshells is where we will end tonight's session. Thank you all
Suspect.
very much for coming to Ryam tonight for this very interesting adventure, and we will see.
Super.
We will see what happens with our new gal pals, I guess, and what happens with the Spring Court guy next week. Thank you all for coming, and please stay safe.
Girl power.